Our guest speaker needs no introduction in the legal circles, but allow me to express my admiration for his illustrious career. His contributions to the legal profession have been nothing short of extraordinary, and that too at such a young age. As an expert in the field, a speaker has consistently displayed a profound understanding of complex legal issues. Their ability to navigate intricate legal matters with finesse and clarity has earned them the utmost respect of peers and students alike. Not only has he been a legal practitioner at the High Court of Delhi, but also an exceptional educator. Their passion for teaching and mentoring the next generation of legal minds has left an indelible mark on the life of those fortunate enough to be his students. We are incredibly grateful for you, sir, that you have taken time from a busy schedule to share your expertise with us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to call upon Mr. Mohit Tawar. Sir, please.
Thanks for the invite, Hamid. But I believe that you have used so many worthy words. And if I will be doing justice with my age, so I guess it should be a little cut short. But still, it's a privilege to join all of you, that too on the auspicious occasion of just the inaugural lecture of this particular internship. First of all, I'm having high gratitude towards our Honorable Dean Ma'am, all the faculty coordinators, the student coordinator, and the entire team of DUSLS who are involved therein. Now, directly coming to the point, when we talk about today's subject matter, a lecture on RTI. So, RTI is one of the contemporary topic that is usually on the mind of each and every individual. So, while preparing for this particular lecture, I was having a few points in my mind. One point could be that I will be speaking only on those points that have been mentioned in various textbooks or reference books or all the materials that have been provided either on the e-resources or some other journals. Or else there could be other way around. Because particularly I believe that you people directly have come across after the completion of your current semester, right? Just right away after exams, you're joining this internship. So why don't we have an interactive session today? Why don't we look after the pragmatic approach so that you will be learning some, I'll be learning a few valuable points from your end. Now, starting with the need of RTI, that what is the pragmatic approach regarding it? Do anybody is having an idea that how to go about this particular topic? And I would like to ask the host and the team that can we interact with the people directly on the mic?
For sure, sir. The session is can be made truly interactive.
Yeah, that will be super fine. So anybody, what's your understanding regarding the subject matter of RTI? Because you people have joined this particular internship on your own whims and fancies. You're having something in your mind that like to do something remarkable. So what is your basic understanding regarding RTI? Anybody? You people want me to point out someone? Accountability of government. Okay. Hamid, what's your understanding?
So, rights is something that truly defines Article 21, eventually giving you the right to know what's happening in the government around.
Yeah, essentially that can be one of the valuable point if we go into the extensive approach. But let's start from the very basic one. So as far as RTI is concerned, various definitions have been propounded, various explanations have been given. But to my understanding, what I believe RTI is, in modern day paradigm, RTI is the most valuable instrument that have been put in the hands of the citizens. And why citizens? Because ultimately, India is a country that is highly democratic in nature. And if we talk about the government, then who is the government? Government is the most loyal agent of the state. And when it comes to providing the power, so this word power connotes different explanations. In case if you are utilizing your power within your limits, then it will be a boon for you. But on the other hand, if you will be misusing this particular power, so it may amount to be a poison not merely for the government, but also for the public at large, because they need to face the intricacies, they need to face the loopholes, lacunas that have been presented by these government. Now, somebody has pointed out that it is related to good governance. But how RTI is related to good governance? Because as recently we have discovered, our Honorable Prime Minister, while traveling to his US visits, he has embarked so much upon one factor that in this modern age, in this age of digitalization, there's one thing of prime importance. And that prime importance is Data is the new oil. It is the information. And if we relate the same subject matter with respect to the public authorities, because as far as the scope of RTI Act is concerned, then you can and carved out all the informations only from the public authorities that have been defined under the Act itself. Now, what exactly constitutes public authority, we will be discussing in the later half of this lecture. So, in order to have a good governance, in order to provide all the relevant information, in order to provide the accountability, transparency, in order to win over the trust of the people, the subject matter of RTI by virtue of Right to Information Act 2005, it has been propounded. Now, moving over to the other aspect, if we relate to the purpose and need. So, what could have been the purpose? Karthike, what's your understanding? What could have been the purpose of just implicating or implementing the RTI Act in 2005? Now, as far as the purpose and need of implementation of RTI Act 2005 is concerned, then there's one thing for very sure. And that thing is, earlier, it is not about there's the absentia of such a kind of legislation or statute. Earlier, also, we were having one, but that was not sufficient enough. It was full of lacunas, full of loopholes. So, in order to provide a comprehensive approach, in order to provide the relevant information, in order to provide a modus operandi that is so much of public importance, because if we are not serving the public grassroots levels, so how come we will be traveling to those heights which we aspire for India? Because transparency and accountability, if those things can be mentioned, if these two things can be ensured to the greatest extent possible, then certainly there's one thing for very sure, that India will be going on the radar of perfection, on the radar of growth, on the radar of progress. So that was the subject matter which was always in the eyes of the people, always in the eyes of policymakers, our bureaucracy, all the people who are involved in making the law, either legislature, the executive branch, in order to execute it out. And judiciary has also embarked so many times that having a statute in order to carve out the information, that is fair enough. But on the other hand, if we believe India to be a democratic country, if we believe India to attain the heights that we always aspire for, so our governance not only needs to be a good governance, but the best governance. Because having a population of over 135 crore people, it is not at all possible to manage them effectively. But if each and everybody will be doing a work under a supervision, and who is having the ultimate power to lodge these RTIs? It is the citizens of India. Though a clause has been provided under the RTI Act itself that there could be third party in case if a party who is other than the citizens. So a proper procedure has been laid down, particularly in that. Now moving from it, if we request any of our participant, has anybody of you ever filed RTI? As far as my own student Harmeet is concerned, so I'm having an idea. If I talk about my student Shivang, so I'm having an idea that he has also done the same. Anybody who has ever filed an RTI? What is the procedure that is involved therein? Whom you should file the RTI? I'm able to see so many no. Is there any one single person who may say yes? Because being a law student, I effectively believe that until and unless you are doing something of extraordinary nature at your level, so you'll be understanding the intricacies of law, you'll be understanding the technicalities of the law more than what has been mentioned among the mere text which have been provided in your textbooks, reference books, or course materials. Nobody has filed even a single RTI. That is quite surprising. Yes, through the online RTI portal. Karthik, can you allow Raghav to speak on mic? Okay, Raghav, please can you share that particular story which you are having?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are completely audible. Please proceed.
Yes, sir. It was actually about inquiry about the allocation and number of vacancies in a government hostel.
Okay.
So when I went to the government hostel, they were not actually giving the accurate information, and they were just passing on like passing on the responsibility from one desk to other. So after that, I just got to know that the government hostel came under the office of the Directorate of Higher Education Pune. So I went to the online portal of Maharashtra government, RTI portal of Maharashtra government, and then I just selected the department as DHE Pune, and filled all my personal particulars. And in the field of the questions, I wrote about 5 questions about number of vacancies available in the hostel, what is the eligibility, and what is the application process, etc., etc. And after paying the requisite fees, the RTA was filed, and in about 25 or 26 days, the reply was sent to me by post.
Thanks for sharing your view, Raghav. Now, moving forward, let's keep it simple. As far as the subject matter of RTI is concerned in our country, first of all, we need to look after that who can file an RTI. So there is one single solution for it. We should not go into the deep intricacies, rather, it is far better to restrict to the simplicity first. First of all, it is merely the citizens who can file an RTI. Now, to whom these RTIs need to be filed? The information that you can carve out, the information that need to be explored or disclosed to you, the government has made it mandatory that it is the public authorities who comes under the ambit or who comes under the jurisdiction of the RTI Act. And all these public authorities need to provide a proper designation among their employees, among their officers or public holders by the name of Public Information Officer, PIO. So the RTI needs to be directly lodged in the form of a request to that proper public information officer. Is that clear as of now? Now, moving forward, when we talk about the public information officer, what is the procedure of filing these RTIs? And the procedure of filing these RTIs, it is bifurcated into two parts. First, the physical process that has been among within us from a very long time. That is a physical process. You just need to write a complaint, your RTI, your request that you require information either in English, Hindi, or any other local language of that particular place in which you're filing that proper RTI. On the other hand, in the era of digitization, in this modern world, we are having the authenticity, we are having the priority nature of the individuals who are so much prone, who are so much active on the digital devices. So you can also lodge the RTIs on the digital portal of these public information officers of their respective public authorities. Any idea that what constitutes a public authority or what can be called as a public authority? Harmeet, in this particular internship program, do we have somebody from fourth year?
Absolutely, sir. We do have a few interns
Okay.
who are selected.
Can you list them? Who are they?
I'll have to check, but for sure, a few of them for sure got selected.
Fair enough. Anybody like to answer that?
Under Article, yes,
Yeah, please, Simple.
under Article 12, it has been mentioned what are the public authorities.
I believe under Article 12 it's mentioned what are constituted to be a state, who can be a
I was
state.
like, but
Okay. As far as public authorities are concerned, what can be called as a public authority? One which is constituted by a statute. To a certain extent, you can say that. As far as your RTI Act is concerned, then it is the Section 2H. Pushpendra would like to say something. Yeah, Pushpendra, please go ahead.
So not only statute, but under the constitution, under any body made by the constitution or a statute or a state legislature. So any such body formed is a public authority. And also it's not only about how they are formed, it's also about the kind of function they're performing. So if they're performing functions which are of public good and public benefit, that's also a benefit. So even sometimes private bodies are termed as public authorities. So that's...
Well, you have given a nice answer, but it is not that much comprehensive and close-ended, one which is constituted as state government, central government. This could be the other view. But if you will be trifurcating, or if you will be making the critical analysis of the section that has been provided, yeah, Kavya.
Sir, I could just, I'm not a fourth year student, but I could just sum up an answer that broadly anything that comes under the constitution or is made by the parliament or comes under the definition of state authorities of state or the other local authorities, which is given that they are governed by a bylaw or law or a notification issued by the parliament or under the constitution or any other code or legal code. And if by any chance that authority, which is not necessary, is performing a sovereign function or a function in public welfare, can be termed as a public authority.
That is fair enough. And I'm amazed that how come you missed one single point regarding the public authority. What if we talk about an NGO? Can it be deemed to be a public authority? If yes, then why? And if no, then why? Anybody? Though it is a tricky question. Please go ahead. Yeah, Kavya.
Sir, an NGO is a public authority because for NGOs also we have a specific law under which it is governed. It comes under a public administration to which the area it belongs. NGOs के भी अपने acts होते हैं. To one angle it is that it is governed by a law. To the second angle it is if it's aided by the government. That means the land is provided government. In the third perspective it is that it is acting in sovereign interest of the state. So yes, it is a public authority.
Well, I regret to inform you that you're partially right but partially wrong. All NGOs are not public authorities. Rather, in case if they are substantially funded or controlled by the government, as Hasini has written down the answer, only those NGOs will be deemed to be a public authority. So now, if we will be doing a critical analysis of Section 2H, where the public authorities has been defined, then let's start with the ultimate law of the land that we are having. What is the biggest law? Obviously, it is the Constitution of India. So any authority that has been framed by virtue of the Constitution of India, then that public authority will be deemed to be a public authority, or that any entity. After that, if any entity has been framed out by virtue of the legislation or a statute which has been made or framed by either the central government or any of the state government, then that will also be constituting as a public authority. And any authority that a court has formalized. Any idea regarding this? How many of you have came across the MCD cases in which the Honorable Supreme Court in MC Mehta versus Union of India has made a proper monitoring committee who will be looking after all the ceiling drives in New Delhi or outside its jurisdiction? Can we say that that particular entity in the name of monitoring committee also constitutes as a public authority?
Yes, sir.
And why is? What is the reasoning behind your yes?
Sir, because it is also working for the public good, and like the court is a branch of the state itself. So if they have formalized a
Yeah,
body and
just
it's
keep it
working for the
simple.
public good,
Just keep it simple. Directly hit the point. And here the point is, it is constituted by the order of the Honorable Supreme Court. That's why it is a public authority, right?
right, sir.
So just keep it simple. Now moving forward, as far as right to information is concerned, then that particular right has been defined under Section 2J. Now, as you people are already got the point that who can carve out this information, who can request this information, who can lodge an RTI, who it is? It is the citizens. Fair enough. Now, moving forward, is there any obligations that have
Citizen of India.
the public authorities? Do public authorities have any obligations that they need to be respected from their end? Let's suppose, make it simple. If your parents are providing you the proper financing funding in order to run your house, you will be just emptying the entire money or the entire treasury which they have provided to you, or you'll be maintaining a record because all you people are educated enough, all you people are knowledgeable enough. So how you'll be managing the finances? Will you keep any records?
Yes.
Okay, Shantanu. Harmeet, what you will do?
For sure, sir. I'll maintain the records.
No, sorry, I don't believe you because you are so much dear to me. I know that you will not be doing that. But being a prudent person, each and everybody should do that. Because until unless you're having the records, how you'll be tracking all the transactions that is coming in? So there are similar obligations that have been provided under Section 4 of the RTI Act. that lays down the obligations that are expected and that are directed to these public authorities. And what could be these informations? First of all, that they must mention all the particulars of all the officers, of all the employees that are working therein. They need to maintain all the records related to their functionality, their powers, their functions, their transactions, as far as money matters are involved therein, the procedure followed in their decision making powers. What could be the other ways in order to ensure the obligations? Anybody? In case of government has allocated a budget to them, should they also provide that particular information? From where the government provides the money for the budget? Do the government is having their own reserves or they are taking taxes from the citizens? कोई तो बोलो यार, ऐसे कैसे बात
Taxes
है?
from the citizens.
Taxes from the citizens. So being a citizen, don't you have the right to know about that? What is the budget allocated for? Who is getting how much budget? What is the course of work they are doing? So in order to ensure all these things out, so they also need to provide for all these budget allocation, which they have done from all the public authorities, the manner of execution of the subsidized schemes that have been launched by the government, other way around, the names, designation, and the other participants that are involved in their modus operandi of working. So Section 4 lays down all these aspects. Should we proceed further now, Harmeet?
For sure, sir.
Now
Please.
moving over to one another crucial topic of today's discussion. Now, certainly when we talk about the information part that can be get, that can be achieved, that can be received from all these public authorities, can you receive any information? Because being a citizen, you're paying the taxes, you're having the right in order to know how these public authorities are working, where your tax are getting utilized. Can you generate any information? Can you demand or request whatever you are having in your mind? Or are there certain exemptions for it? And in case if there are exemptions, what could they be?
National security is
There
one
will
of
be
them.
exemption.
Please, one student at a time.
So national security is one of the things the government can like take exception for.
That could be one way around. What about others?
Maybe
The
relevance as well.
There have been numerous points that have been provided under your Bear Act. There will be enormous discussions you will be finding across the internet. But those are the points that are expressly mentioned. Why don't you apply your mind? Because it will be evolving the very thought process that you have, the journal as well as your legal thought process. Now tell me, what could be the exemptions? Let's start it one by one. Obviously, those things that will be directly challenging or striking the unity and integrity of India. That involves national security. In our country, there is a proper protocol that has been followed. Atiti Devo Bhava. Because this is a sound principle that we share with our foreign relations. And India is that democratic country that always looks after all the foreign relations, all the foreign governments that we are having tie-ups, either in terms of treaties, bilateral agreements, multilateral agreements. So we always respect that. Even the constitution speaks about it. So any information that is crucial between these two governments or a group of government, so they can reserve that. Now moving forward, can you have any example in which the information has been demanded, it has been requested, but the government has directly said no? So what is the solution therein? Because this is a very hot debate. Between what? This is a hot debate between the right to privacy and your right to demand information in terms of carving out the information from these public authorities. Rafale airplane was one that. How can we relate this particular example with a solution? Have you people ever came across the jurisprudential essence that has been given by William and Prosser and Roscoe Pound? Because they talk about social engineering. In social engineering, what is the basic element that has been provided in order to justice between the people at large? How do you do justice? Anybody? What do you understand by social engineering? Yeah, it is a very humble request. Please take it as a challenge. Take it as an opportunity to learn the things out. Because we are discussing here which have not been directly provided under any books, under any statutes, legislations, blogs. So this is the original jurisdiction that we are having today. So make this discussion so much rememberable for you after your internship conclusion. What do you understand by the term social engineering? How do these jurists relate that particular process with justice and justicing?
So, uh,
Yeah,
you mentioned Pound. So, sir, according to Pound, he talks about balancing competing interests, which basically means that there will always be different groups in the society. They'll have conflicting interests and different interests. So, how you manage them in such a manner that no one is discriminated against. Every part of the society is somehow satisfied with how the governance is being done. So for that, basically the topic of reservation. Okay, you may be having an approach of equality before law, but then again, those sections of the society will always feel kind of pariah. So you have brought this concept to make them feel equal, to like bring them into the mainstream society. So sir, maybe that's how.
Pushpendra, you're going super fine. But my question is how you'll be relating the aspect of social engineering with the aspect of the debate that we are having in the subject matter of your right to information versus right to privacy. Kavya, do you have something to say?
Sir, I think I have something to say. Like social engineering, when we talk about social engineering, it means aiming at achieving a state where the society as an industry delivers to maximum, which is that the state of society stays stable, means it's not disrupted, a planning in such a way that it could be stabilized and everyone enjoys equal attempt to life, but still does not is not able to go superior from state. So the element of maximum satisfaction but still having restrictions on the people, on the society, covers the ambit of right to privacy and right to information. Right to information should be delegated in such a manner that the other citizens of the society are not threatened to any extent, but it should uh, okay, I'm not getting my own line.
No,
So
it's
yeah,
well.
हाँ
Yeah.
ठीक है जो है हाँ.
Kartiki, I'm damn sure that you can answer this out. We have discussed during our lectures of law of tort. Please proceed. Fair enough. Now, moving forward, regarding the debate between the right to privacy versus your right to information, then it is the social engineering that we are having. And the biggest weapon that we do have, it is the balancing of interest. Now, as far as the subject matter of balancing of interest is concerned, so whosoever will be the jurist, whosoever will be the judge, whosoever is having the power of decision making, they will always look out for the solution by analyzing the principles, the facts, the background, the matrix, and all the observations and critical analysis will be forming part and parcel of that. Only after that, a solution will be carved out. I didn't remember the name, but somebody has mentioned the point regarding the Rafael deal. That could be one foremost example because there have been numerous RTIs that have been filed by the opposition leaders, normal citizens, in order to extract the information related to that particular deal. And the Supreme Court has demanded the same from the government. But government, though they have provided it, but in a sealed envelope by writing the confidential information. So that is the solution. So whenever it is something about the unity and integrity of the nation. It is something about the trade deals that we have at the global stage directly with the government of that particular foreign nation. So these can be those exemptions which have been provided under Section 8. Harmeet, I think that we should take a break for now and we can just wrap up the first part of the lecture, and after a break of how much time break do you people want? Okay, so we will be starting at 8:37. Let's have a 7 minutes break. So after 7 minutes at sharp 8:37, I'll be joining back. Will that be fine?
Perfect, sir.
Yeah, fair enough. Thank you,
So
Amit.
I guess we have the attendance link live, I guess, Samriddhi.
Yep, sharing it just a second.
So the attendance link is going to be shared, guys, in the YouTube chat as well as Google Meets chat. So kindly fill it. And the secret word for today is legalpreneur. Spelling, don't even ask me, just write it down. Was chosen by someone amongst us. So legalpreneur is the word, guys. Please.
again, everybody. So, we are into the part two of the ongoing lecture upon RTI, the pragmatic approach. Any questions as of now, or should we directly proceed with the upcoming part? Anybody? So, I guess we should start with the upcoming part. So, now this upcoming part, what I have prepared for you people. Yeah, Pushpendra, please go ahead.
So you talked about the concept of seal covers and how it is somehow a balanced approach. So when you present something to the court, Supreme Court, and even lower courts have started this thing, so it does not allow the contesting party to present their views, to present counter arguments. So in a way, you are stripping away their right to counter the very thing. So when Supreme Court is allowing state and its agencies to present things in a seal cover to it, it's a growing trend in India. में, ये कि, increasing Supreme Court has been doing this. In a case or two, it might be acceptable and it might be understood to be something of utmost importance. But then, sir, a growing trend where the state is somehow able to prejudice the court against the other party because the other party does not get a copy of it and they're not able to present the counter arguments. So, how are they supposed to like convey their idea, their arguments, and everything to the court? So, sir, the judgment is somehow prejudiced towards the government. So, if you could, sir, present your views on that.
There's no wrong in order to present a view by holding the position of an academician. But generally, I avoid in order to go after these type of controversial topics. But if you have asked for it, so definitely I'll be answering. And I'll not be presenting you any diplomatic view. Rather, what is best to my knowledge, what best belongs to my mind and heart, I will be just be speaking about that. As far as your view is concerned, to a certain extent, it may be considered. But to whom these informations have been submitted? It is the apex court of our country. It is only that Supreme Court that has rendered justice numerous times on numerous occasions, where we get all the resources, where we get all the justice, where we get equality, equity, fraternity, all from one source. So many a times it is also about the trust that we have in all the utmost authorities that we are having in our country. So if somebody is providing a confidential information directly to the Supreme Court, so we need to trust the Supreme Court. And there have been numerous occasions where the decisions have been presented by the Honorable Court, that too in favor of the parties. So many a times each and everything should not be provided under the very literal rules of interpretation, the literal rules of views. No, indeed not. Many a times you also need to take care of each and every case in its speciality. Because why we always say, being a common law country, that we need to adjudicate upon each and every case, we need to adjudicate upon each and every issue, cause of action, by taking it as a fact and circumstances in its express manner. So that is one thing altogether. So that is certainly my view. So many a times you need to trust the process, the policymakers, and at last the lawgivers, because whatever they will be doing justice to the greatest extent possible, we need to look after them as being our protector. Why we always say that what exactly Supreme Court can be called as? It is the protector of the Constitution. It is the protector of our fundamental rights, our human rights. So that is the respect that we have for them. So that is certainly my view. Yeah, Raghav. Now, moving forward to the second part of this ongoing lecture, now I have something for the landmark judicial precedents that we have that are so much related to the subject matter of RTI. So, the first case that we'll be discussing today, it is the CBSE and others versus Aditya Bandyopadhyay. This is a Supreme Court judgment, and the ruling is of the year 2011. So, certainly, what has happened in 2011? That Supreme Court has held that an examination body does not hold the right with them in order to not show the answer sheet to the people. Because if you have conducted a proper examination, you people must be having the right in order to get the copies or the certified copies of the very answer sheets in which they have written their answers. Because this step has been taken in the view that who are these examination conducting bodies of government competitions? It is indeed the public authorities. Who are the persons who will be appearing therein? The name of the case is CBSE and other versus Aditya Bandyopadhyay, 2011 Supreme Court. Who have been made eligible to appear for this examination? It is the citizens. Who is having the issue or cause of action? Who is having the right to information under the act? It is the citizen. And being an examination body, that too of government exams, so it is a public authority. And the act has been provided with certain enactments, it has been provided with certain provisions where they need to appoint some of their official person as being the public information officer. So Supreme Court has cleared that view that these authorities are not having the right to not disclose the answer sheets of the individuals who have appeared in that exam. So this particularly has been provided in this ruling, but there is a proviso attached to the judgment, and that is they may limit in order to not provide these type of information to these citizens or to these persons who are requesting for the information, provided if had been laid down in the very statute, law, or any bylaw related to that, that no individual can extract information particularly to the examination. So this is the first case. Now, secondly, coming for the case is Bihar Public Service Commission versus Sayyid Hussain, 2012. Anybody heard about this particular case? And yeah, I think I missed one hand. Muskan, you would like to say something? Was there a question or something else?
No, sir, I was just asking to repeat the case name.
Okay,
You did it
have you got it?
already. Yeah, thank you.
Now, coming over to the examination aspect itself, what do you think? Can these examination authorities decide not to reveal the identity of the persons who are conducting the exams, who will be checking the answer sheets? Or can this information could also be achieved? It also can be acquired by filing an RTI.
I think, sir, the identity of the examiner must be kept secret because when the student whose marks are not that much that he was expecting, it can harm the security of the examiner.
Don't you think that in case they will be revealing the identity of that proper examination department, of that proper examination officials, the things will not be working in the purity? Can't the people approach these examiners in whatever manner? So therefore, here the Supreme Court laid down that as far as receiving the answer sheets are concerned, then certainly it is your right. You can have that until and unless there has been proviso annexed to the very statute or law that has been mentioned. But on the very other hand, if it is about revealing the identities of the examiners, then it is a kind of a personal information, and this will be hampering the purity of the examination that has been conducted, that too in the government sector. Now, coming over to the third case, that is Girish Ramchandra Deshpande versus Central Information Commission. I'm repeating the name of that particular case, Girish Ramchandra Deshpande versus Central Information Commission, 2013 Supreme Court. So, what has happened in this particular case? Who are the public servants? Can we say that they will be also coming under the radar of working under public authorities? Yes or no? Or simple yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. In case if you require information related to their salary, their perks, their services, can you file or lodge an RTI for that?
No, sir.
No. Why no? From whom
Yes, sir.
we are getting the salaries? They are getting the salary from the government. From where the government is getting the treasury funds? From our taxes. So why no?
Sir, I think the salary is kind of an personal information. It can unhinge.
No, no, indeed not.
No, sir. We can't. We can get the information.
But there's now an extended view. Supreme Court has clearly clarified that as far as receiving the information related to the public officers, salary, perks, or other advantages are concerned, then certainly they can be acquired, they can be claimed by virtue of filing an RTI. But what about the medical records or medical conditions? All you people are quite young. All you people comes under the ambit of the ongoing youth revolution that we are having. You must have came across various web series. Now there is a recent web series by the name of Asur 2, in which They have extracted all the informations of each and every citizen of India, and they have brought them under the radar of AI so that they can manipulate with their visions, right? So now tell me, as far as the medical records or medical conditions are concerned of these public officers, can you claim that particular data by virtue of an RTI? If yes, then why? If no, then why? Yes, Raghav. I think Divyanshu should go first. You will be speaking for the very first time, right? Yeah, please.
Yes. So I don't think that medical information can be revealed because it is something which is personal information of the officer and will not come under the ambit of his duty as a public officer.
Divyanshu, you're from which year?
Um, I'll be entering my second year, like soon.
You'll
So
be
I'm ending
entering.
with my first year.
Yeah. Sir Smith, if I'm not wrong, it is the correct pronunciation of your name. So I was looking for that particular point. You need to relate it with the law because law is common sense. But being the law student, between the journey that you're having among a journal citizen to a law student than to a legal professional. So you need to relate the exact law upon it, and that is right to privacy. And it was Justice Puttaswamy judgment in which right to privacy has been made a fundamental right. It was always had been a fundamental right, but it has been reassured, it has been reaffirmed, and it is a public information that is related to those aspects, that what is the perks, what is the salary, what are the wages. But this is a personal information. Personal information shall always be connected with the right to privacy as being the fundamental right under Article 21 of the Constitution of India 1950. Fair enough. Moving forward, then the case came of Reserve Bank of India versus Jayanti Lal and Mistry, 2015 Supreme Court. Now what has happened, time to time we are coming across various scams, financial frauds that are happening in the banking sector. And now RBI is always making a stand before the Honorable Supreme Court and other authorities that in case if it will be providing all the information, then it will be providing so much chaos among the citizens, so much chaos among the bankers, among the customers of those banks who are maintaining their account in that. So what could have been the stand of Honorable Supreme Court in this case? Do the citizens have the right that what is happening with their funds, which they have submitted in their bank account, that to maintained or regulated by the RBI at the greatest level by supervising upon the banks inferior to it? Or can the RBI take garb of an exemption under the RTI Act that no, this is not done? It may lead to chaos among the citizens. It may ignite fire. It may ignite numerous controversies. It may also harm the unity and integrity of the nation. If you have been the Honorable Supreme Court or the CJI or the bench who has adjudicated upon this particular matter, what could have been your view? Anybody?
So my stand would be like it would come under the preview of RTI because it involves public money, so it needs to be checked.
Okay. So, yep. Raghav?
Sir, I think the RTI concerns with the information of public bodies and public authorities, not the information of, not the private information of citizens that these public authorities or public bodies deals with. So the amount, the money in someone's bank accounts is a private information that is dealt by banks, and it cannot be revealed.
The question was not that, Raghav. The question was, in case if there has been so many mismanagement, there has been financial frauds, there have been scams from the money which have been submitted by the citizens in the bank accounts that are regulated by RBI. And RBI was making a stand again and again that in case if they will be revealing the information that where the funds have been lost, how it has been mismanaged, so certainly what will be done? Can RBI will be getting an exemption under the act, or they need to provide the information? There will not be any exemption that will be provided to them.
Uh,
That was the question.
So I think the seal cover practice can be used here because this much sensitive information can certainly bring a collapse in the financial market. But at the same time, if we use the sealed cover practice, so the information can be reached to the concerned authorities without bringing a chaos in the society.
Yes.
Uh, Good evening, sir.
Very
Sir, as far as the information of the personal consumer and the bank balance goes, that is a private information. Whereas the information regarding uh, what the RBI is doing with the money is somewhere goes around being a public information and should be out, and that could be could be available via RTI.
That is fair enough, but I will be quoting the exact ratio density that has been provided by the Honorable Supreme Court. And I will be doing the exact wording of that. In this landmark judgment, the Honorable Supreme Court held that the Reserve Bank of India is bound to disclose all the information about the banks and financial institutions' penal action for their irregularities. The court rejected the RBI's argument that trust with the banks would be hampered with this disclosure. So each and everything can't be put into that clause of confidential information, because if that will be coming again and again, so it will be becoming part and parcel of the ongoing practice for numerous matters that are of very high ordinance. For example, the Rafale deal, it was a solution for that, but the same solution or a state jacket formula can't be implemented for each and everything, right? So this was the exact ruling which Honorable Supreme Court has provided in the landmark case of RBI versus Jayanti Lal Mistry. Now proceeding further, Honey, do you have something to say?
Yes, sir. I have a question to ask.
Yeah, please.
Sir, about the information that you said about the that by filing RTI we can like get information from the banks also. So like if there is a person who has done some transactions to other person, so and we are a third party to that person, so can we get the information by filing the RTI of the transaction between the two people, like the previous
Indeed,
transaction?
indeed not, because there will be a collapse, there will be a debate, there will be a contradiction between the right to privacy of some other person and your right to information as being the citizen.
Yes, exactly.
But
That's why I
at
was.
the larger scale, if there's something related to a very high scale corruption, for example, you talk about any of the industrialists, I will not be taking name due to generous reasons, but there have been numerous scams that has happened and people have carved out the information via RTI. So each and every case need to be adjudged on the basis of the factual matrix that it is having. Fair enough?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you so much, sir.
Fair enough. Now coming over to the last case for today, and that is the landmark case of this era. And the case name is CPIO, Honorable Supreme Court of India versus Subhash Chandra Agarwal, 2019 Supreme Court. Now, this is the case where the Honorable Supreme Court has reiterated and reaffirmed the ruling of the Honorable Delhi High Court, in which they have suggested that yes, the office of CJI is a public authority and all the citizens are having the right to carve out information from that. So this was the last case for the day. I think that we are already running short of time now. Harmeet, should we conclude this lecture right now or should we extend it? I believe 1 hour would be more than enough for the very first meet, if I'm not wrong. What do you suggest?
I'll say as you may feel right, sir. I guess the enthusiasm is enough, right? I guess we can have some more time the lecture to go on. Post that, I have one great surprise for you as well. So yeah, your call. Call.
Why? What is the surprise? You're just transferring your property in my name or what?
Certainly not, sir.
Though I'm
Yeah, I
prepared
don't
for
have
the
any.
though
For
I'm
certain.
prepared for the extended lecture, but I think this information will be more than enough for the very first meet.
Mm-hmm.
क्योंकि मैं नहीं चाहता हूँ कि ऐसा ना हो अगली बार ही लोग आए ना. And all you people have been fantastic. You have been enthusiastic, and we are more than happy to welcome you in order to make you part of LEIC, the ongoing internship. People have been doing numerous generous things. It is an honor to speak to all of you because if I'm teaching in our classroom, so that is altogether a different feeling. If I'm interacting any of the other universities, being a guest lecturer for a particular subject matter, that is something else. If I'm looking forward to all the entrepreneurial endeavors that I'm having by running my own firms, so that is altogether a different feeling. But interacting with these generous peoples, that too with this much amount of enthusiasm, your unparalleled knowledge, your expertise, and specifically your willingness to join this proper program, it is a commendable job from all of you, and I feel highly obliged towards each and every individual that you are having. More or less, Harmeet, we will be meeting once again. But before concluding my view, I think there have been two hands that have been raised up. So, Muskan, do you have to say something?
Yes, sir. Please repeat the 2019 Supreme Court case again.
Here it was CPIO, Supreme Court, versus Subhash Chandra Agarwal. And the full form of CPIO is Central Public Information Officer, Honorable Supreme Court, versus Subhash Chandra Agarwal, 2019 Supreme Court. Yeah, over to you, Shanti.
Okay, sir.
You
Okay.
wish to say something?
No, sir, I was just asking the question. That's it.
Okay, that's fair enough. And before concluding the today's lecture, in case if you people are on Instagram, it is a very humble request. Kindly follow LEIC page because these students have been doing wonders. They are making efforts day and night. I have personally seen them that how much pain each and every individual is taking in this particular protocol. So kindly please follow their Instagram handle. And as soon as you came across any viewpoint, you came across any question, query, you like to learn something out from any of us, you are more than welcome to approach on any handle whatsoever, as the case may be. Either you can reach out to us via LinkedIn, via Instagram, you can directly take the number from all the peoples who are working for LEIC, and we are more than happy to look after each and every one of your query because you are not merely our guest. Rather, I believe that you are part of the very intrinsic family that we have at USLS and LEIC. And as far as my Instagram handle is concerned, I'm just listing it down here. You can anytime approach me. And just in case if you require any help, I'm always up for it. So that's all for today from my end. And I see, Amit, whatever you have, just proceed with it.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the shout out. Also, guys, you may follow LEIC underscore USLLS, and sir has also given an Instagram handle, so please, you may. And secondly, so first of all, we have a short assignment for you guys. So as I said, it is going to be super interactive. So not only the session, what you have learned, we have designed a small quiz around that, so that it becomes a good retainer. The session gets well retained for you. So very soon, the student coordinators would be sharing a Google form link. It has a quiz in it. I'll say first of all you attempt that. Then I guess yes, we'll talk about the surprise. So yeah, Samriddhi, you sharing it? Perfect. Thank you. And for the ones watching us on YouTube, it's just coming to your WhatsApp handle. So please stay tuned.
Amit, should I leave now?
Uh, for sure, sir, as you may.
Okay.
Thank you for your
So,
time. We'll
no,
meet
it's
again, I guess, Friday. Friday it is.
yeah. Just inform me in advance. I will be there. So
Perfect.
thank you, every one of you. It is an honor to meet each and every one of you, and wish you all the best for the whatever quiz that you're having. Bye bye. Yeah. So
Sir,
yeah, we
just
would like.
one thing.
Yeah.
Sir, can you repeat the BPSC case, Bihar Public Service Commission case?
You want me to repeat the full ruling?
No, sir, just the case name.
Okay, the case name. It was BPSC versus Sayyid Hussain Abbas Rizvi. Sayyid Hussain versus Abbas Rizvi, 2012 Supreme Court. Yeah, I think Soeb is left. Soeb, any help that I can do for you?
Sir, I'm asking like contractor through government are under the RTI or no?
Contractor through government can be under RTI, not. I think it will be dependent upon the factor. And more or less, I will reserve this topic for the upcoming lecture. क्योंकि अगर सब कुछ अभी डिस्कस कर दूं तो बाद में आप लोग क्या करोगे?
Okay,
See,
sir. Thank you.
fair enough. Thank you, everybody, and bye bye from my end. All the best.
Post that as soon as your quiz gets over, you get over with it. Kindly like mention in the group chat. Okay, so as I see, I guess everyone is filled, right? I see the group chat. Done, done, done. Perfect, 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 perfect. Acha, someone asked about question 5. It has two right answers. And I guess you should have also checked it's written first appeal. First appeal means 30 days. Right. And we are not talking of any special condonation, so it's 30 days. Anyways, yeah, so for the surprise. So I'll start with the ones who have been selected as the interns. So, along with these lectures on RTI, as you know, you will be having uh, tutorials on Pixton as well. Now, not only that, since Pixton is a paid product, you need to pay for it. And so we had a word with Pixton, and it agreed to be our design partners and knew that all of the interns would be getting pro access to Pixton. So you can check for it. So you get more than, I guess, 500 plus templates and easy mode tutorials to make your life easy, and many more things via Pixton Pro. So that's the first thing. I guess we never announced that. And one more thing. Now we were getting, say, pretty much requests at a DM, like they either they missed the dates or something or some else thing happened, and eventually they were just not able to be a part of the interns group. Right, a lot of students, and they just joined the value added course. Now seeing that, see, at the behest we are there to give some knowledge and eventually do our bit for the society, right? So for that we said thoda aur push karte hain, so we are increasing the limit of the interns that we'll be taking. So first it was 35, it came to around 50, so we'll be increasing it a bit more. And the students who perform really well during their value added course, which will be completing assignments, one which you got shared, post that when you will be having tutorials on Pixton. So actually learning storyboarding and showing our effort there. Nobody's asking you to be a professional, but yeah, effort sabka dikh jata hai, right? So the students who perform exemplary well at their value added course, we'll be inducting them as the interns. So this is my word to you guys. And so I guess a pretty big announcement, at least for the ones who are a part of the value added course. So yeah, this is it. With this, we conclude. And I guess this is your host, Harmeet Singh, signing off. Thank you guys. Good night.